Welcome back to Mountain Outpost. I am your host, Zach Marion. We are here in a bustling Run Rabbit Run packet pickup, and I am joined here with Mr. Michael Obara. Obara?
Hi. Obara's good. Obara's fine.
Dub Bears.
Yeah, Bears.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Yay, thanks for joining me today. I'm really curious to get to know a little bit of your story. I've talked to a handful of people that told me that you and I need to have a sit-down chat. You've got a really great, very interesting, human interest piece to this race here at Run Rabbit Run. Running with diabetes, which is a lot more complicated than it sounds.
Yeah, it is.
Talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, we have a lot to go into with your race history and whatnot. Sure. But first and foremost, I do want to know, being, an advocate for running, with diabetes, please tell me, how does this affect your race, especially over 100 miles? This is not like you can get through a half marathon, 5K kind of deal. This is an all-day event.
Sure. First of all, thanks for inviting me here, Zach. Appreciate the chance to talk about it. So, diabetes. So, really what this comes down to is my pancreas does not make insulin. If I want insulin, it's got to come in through a needle, through my skin. So, insulin is a hormone. Its purpose is to take food and to take glucose that's in your blood and convert it to a form that your cells can use. So you eat carbohydrates, they turn into glucose in your blood. The insulin takes that glucose, it processes it and provides it in a form that your cells and your organs can use. So
pretty important to have.
It is relatively important to have. So in addition to insulin, there's another hormone it produces called glucagon, which has some useful properties that I'll mention in a little bit. So what it comes down to is if you, Zach, consume carbohydrates, they turn into glucose. Your body monitors the level of glucose in your sugar, the concentration, and then it decides how much insulin to release. You eat more carbohydrates, you get more glucose, your blood sugar goes up a bit, your body releases insulin, that sugar gets converted to a form that can be fed to your cells. Now, as a type 1 diabetic, my body makes no insulin whatsoever. So that means instead of having an internal control regulation system, mine is on the outside. Right. So in order to get this insulin in, I carry around a little pager-shaped device. Do you remember what a pager used to look like?
Yeah. I'm not that young. I mean, thank you. I appreciate, but I am not that young.
Sure.
I do remember.
So I carry around a pager-sized device. It sits on my hip, and there's a small plastic tube that runs to a little plastic cannula that goes under my skin. So that device is programmed to deliver a background level of insulin and also to respond to button pushes. When I eat some carbohydrates, for example, I tell it how much insulin to give me. So that's
you're
great.
Constantly doing math out there with okay, I'm having this many grams of carbohydrate, I'm going to need this much insulin to gobble it up and turn it into energy.
Right. So on the surface, you have a ratio. You say, okay, 1 unit of insulin handles, let's say, 15 grams of carbohydrates. That's great. The challenge comes because when you're exercising, that ratio gets thrown way off. So if I'm sitting in a hotel room the day before Run Rabbit Run, on my butt, not doing anything, then that insulin is much less effective, so I need more of it to maintain my blood sugar level. If instead I'm out on the Run Rabbit Run course, going up Mount Werner, then I need a lot less of it. So it's a balancing act. The other challenge that comes along with that is the rate at which the insulin gets into your body. So as a non-diabetic, your blood sugar rises slightly, your body releases insulin right where it needs it, and very quickly your blood sugar comes down. The place that I get to put the insulin in, it's a lot slower.
Yeah.
So what that means is we're talking when I take insulin, it's in me doing its job for hours, up to 4 or 5 hours. So anytime I take insulin, I have to think, what am I going to be doing 3, 4, 5 hours from now? Because this insulin I'm taking is going to be pulling my blood sugar down.
Right.
And the interesting thing happens when your blood sugar goes too low. Blood sugar too low means that your brain gets unhappy, your body, your organs get unhappy. Yeah, and you're out. Yeah. So too much insulin, blood sugar drops down too low, and you're out. You're out on the side of the trail, waiting for the next runner to come along, find you, and then get to the aid station.
Yeah, so you're constantly, while you're running, you're monitoring things. This is more than just I go out in a 100-mile race, and I'm barely keeping myself alive. That is my goal, so just survive to the finish line. You've got this added layer in there that complicates it quite a bit. And it's an added, I wouldn't say stress per se, but it's an added thing to keep track of, to make sure you're doing correctly. And we all know so much can go wrong in a 100-mile race as is, let alone when you're tacking on literally life or death, kind of very sensitive things, for the body processes to go through. We all know that the big thing right now is, a bajillion grams of carbohydrates per hour.
Yes.
Yes. So, we're noticing how important it is in training, and you come in with this hurdle you have to work with, this new thing you have to work with. I could liken it unto you've got a Ferrari, but you're putting gas in, but you've got to convert that and figure out how to get that into the engine.
Sure. So
but yet through all of this, I have to point out the most amazing thing through all of this since 2019, not a single DNF in your record.
That's right. Don't jinx me.
We're going to knock on wood. I thought I was invincible and was never going to DNF, and I've got a handful under my record at this point. There's no shame in the DNF, but to me, it speaks to your ability to adapt, overcome, your training, and just kind of how you approach this has helped you be successful in what most people struggle to get through a number of years without a DNF, and you're doing it under these circumstances, which is absolutely amazing.
Well, Zach, I'd like to say that if I needed to DNF, I would. But I go into these races just thinking it's not an option. If I get injured, if I have a serious medical problem, I will be the first one to tap out.
It's not a death before DNF
Right.
attitude.
It's not a death before DNF. But just to give an example, Jigger Johnson 100, that was a rough 100-miler in the mountains, the White Mountains in New Hampshire.
It's a rough 100-miler, period.
It was a rough 100-miler. It's an out and back. Not as many aid stations as I would have liked. I pulled into the turnaround aid station about 20 hours into the race, soaking wet, could not believe that I was only halfway. The three people that walked in right in front of me, they all dropped right there. And I sat down, tried to find someone that had some way I could dry my feet off. And I just thought, all right, well, now I keep going. So there really isn't an option. If I need to stop, I will, but that's what's going to take, a need.
Yeah, and that's fair. I think that's part of this sport. That's part of the drive. The allure to a 100-mile distance specifically is it's just one foot in front of the other, left, right, repeat until there's a finish line, until someone tells you you're done.
That's right.
Whether it's because you didn't make it to a cutoff, or the finish line, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I've been on both ends of that.
So I want to take it quickly back to the high carb revolution that's going on. I would love to do high carb, but I don't want to go into any math right now. But the more carbs I eat, any errors that I make in dosing my insulin, they become larger and larger and more serious. So it's always easy for me to consume less carb and take less insulin and just deal with it. I've had several people come up and say, oh, wow, you must have everything completely dialed in. You must know exactly how your body works, exactly the carbohydrates you need, exactly the insulin. And the answer is actually quite the opposite. It's not a matter of knowing everything, because so many different factors affect how effective the insulin is. So there is no way I could have enough history in my body to understand every single circumstance I get myself into and know exactly how it's gonna work. So really, it's just a matter of figuring it out when I get there.
Yeah, and one thing I actually do want to point out is looking at your race history. You've got how many 100-milers towing the line tomorrow? How many 100-milers does this make for you?
I've done 10.
You've done 10 100-milers.
My first one was in 2022.
Yeah, it looks like you've done a number of them around. You're not really repeating a ton of them. You're getting to all new places, which I love.
I love the idea of belt buckles, and I love the idea of having a collection of belt buckles that are all different. So no, I have not repeated a race yet.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I think, what specifically Run Rabbit Run, why did you come to this race?
Run Rabbit Run has a great reputation. So there are a number of reasons. One, for a little over a year, I was coached by Jason Schlarb, and I know he's iconic out here. Right, so that's what put it on my radar. It's on the Western States list. It's just so well known. It's an opportunity for me as an amateur to toe the line alongside some top professionals, and I just think that is absolutely fantastic. What other sport could someone like me be on the course, the field, the pitch at the same time as professionals? And what really sealed the deal was New Year's Eve last year, planning my race schedule for 2025, and I look at the registration for Run Rabbit Run. It was still open, and there was a price increase of $100 at midnight. And I said, that's it.
Yeah, I got to
That's
do it
it.
now.
I got to do it now.
Now.
And I'm so happy I did. I'm saying that now. We'll see how I feel after the race.
You've got 48 hours to really figure out how you feel about that decision.
That's right.
Tell me about, what is your most memorable race experience that you've had so far?
Most memorable, I'd have to say Jigger Johnson, just because that was far and away the longest race I've ever done, the most effort I had to put in. Aside from that, I think my longest 100-miler was 27 hours, and that was my first real 100-miler. That was Eastern States 100. But Jigger Johnson, it was 49 hours and 2 minutes, I think, start to finish. I started hallucinating on the last night.
You had a good time then.
It was crazy. But I'm so happy I did it and so proud that I finished it.
Yeah, so we've talked a little bit about your past. What do you do outside of running? Because running is not your full-time job.
Running is not my full-time job. I'm an electrical engineer, so I like to play around with circuits and circuit design, circuit board layout. A lot of math. I work in acoustics too.
Oh wow!
So a lot of work, electronics, sensors, acoustics, and aside from that, I have a wife and 2 children.
Are they out here with you?
They are not out here. They would have been out here. This would have been a fantastic vacation. I love Colorado, but this is my 14-year-old daughter's second week of high school, and we really couldn't pull her out for week number 2 in a brand new high school, brand new school system. So no, it's just me out here. But my wife, 2 kids. That's where I spend a lot of my time.
I was gonna ask, how do you, balance, obviously, the amount of runs that you've done, races you've done, the training to go into these. Like, what does a balance look like for you when it comes to being a family man, having obviously a great job that you 9 to 5, you appreciate, you love, and then also managing the running?
Actually, the diabetes plays into this a little bit. So it's really hard for me to run within, let's say, 5 hours of when I've eaten and taken insulin, just because any insulin left in me can wreak havoc. So by far, the easiest time of day for me to run is early in the morning, after I've been sleeping all night long, after everything's pretty much come to equilibrium. So I get up early, I run early, and then when I get back, that's about the time my family's getting up, and then I'm at work. I'm home from work, we have the evenings, and I go to bed at a reasonable time, and so does everyone else in my family.
Nice. You're lucky that way.
I am so lucky. And my wife's a physical therapist, and she tells me I'm crazy for doing this. She tells me that it's my own fault. But
I'm a physical therapist. We all feel that way, yet we do these things. So
yeah, she tells me it's my own fault, but that she still helps me, and that's what really matters.
Yeah, that's awesome. And to have that kind of level of support at home is fantastic.
Quite often it's just, this hurts right here. What is this muscle called? And she is fantastic for that.
Fix me. This is broken.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, all of my partners have appreciated the fact that I get to fix them and work on them.
That's right. And if she wants to cause pain, she's so good at it.
Yeah, it's a talent. It's a talent we've developed for sure. As if you don't go through enough pain in these things.
Right.
We like to give you a little bit more. Okay, so I have a couple questions for you about like kind of your race history. We've talked about like some of your favorite races. What is like the biggest mistake you've made out on course in a race, and how'd you come back from it?
Biggest mistake. I have the Tesla Hertz 100. My blood sugar was absolutely out of control. I honestly, still to this day, I think I started out not taking enough insulin, and I just could not recover. It got so bad that the sensor, the continuous glucose monitor, or CGM that I use, it was higher than it could read for so long that it said, oh, this must be an error, and it shut itself down. So when something like that happens, you got to pull it off, wait till you get to your next drop bag, throw it away, put a new one on. The new one did not stick well, so that held on for about a half hour, then that was gone. So I did not have a way to know what my blood sugar was. I knew it was high, I did not know how high, so I just took the approach of, okay, I'm going to take some insulin, not too much, wait some time, and then go through it. I eventually got to my drop bag where I had a glucometer, which allows me to do a finger stick to measure my blood sugar.
Yeah.
Got it back into an acceptable range, and I was able to hold it back there. But that was a tough one that went pretty bad. I've had some other ones that went high for a period of time, but this was so high that the sensor said something must be wrong.
You're breaking stuff is what was happening. Wow.
Stuff.
And, honestly, I think my race days are difficult, but yet I couldn't imagine all this and juggling it all and taking care of myself that much.
There's other times. I mean, I know you don't want to hear about all the how the sausage is made, but sometimes the port where the insulin goes in, that decides to come loose, and you may not notice it until 2 hours after it happens. So you've been going for several hours without insulin. So that's just something that you need to come back from. And if I was so completely dialed in that I understood everything about my body, that wouldn't matter.
Right.
Because that's just a situation that you don't plan for. So it really is all about learning how to react and not overreact, because overreacting can get you into trouble pretty quickly.
Yeah, so you got a number of buckles at this point.
Yes.
We know you like buckles.
I do like buckles.
You're going to get yourself a nice golden buckle tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Tell me, what are one or two other buckles you want in that collection of yours?
I mean, I'll say Western States, but
Fair enough.
And I'll say Hard Rock, but who doesn't want Western States and Hard Rock?
Is there a unique one out there that you're like, ooh, this one I want to go get this?
So I've started out my race selection by trying to hit all the ones I could drive to on the East Coast. I've gotten most of them, and then I decided to add some vacation trips in there. So that's how I got out to Zion. That's how I got to Rocky Raccoon. Zion was a family trip, a family vacation, so that worked out really well. And then this is Run Rabbit Run. I just had to get out here. Honestly, I've been pulling races now for the non-local races. I've been pulling them from the Western States list. So I don't know. I've just got to talk to more people and get excited about different races.
See what inspires you next.
Yes, that's right.
You got to look at you got to go Google the buckles and see which is the coolest buckle out there.
Yep, I've got some really large buckles, some really small buckles, and you know what? I'm ashamed to admit I do not own a belt that will take a belt buckle.
Well, I mean,
I've got to go shopping.
You
when
display
I get home.
them proudly, I'm sure.
Do.
So you're not going to pull them down to wear one of them.
I
They're collector's items.
Sometime I'd like to wear one.
That's fair.
I'll pick the largest one I have and just see everyone's eyes trying not to look at it as I walk by.
That giant Leadville buckle is what you need. Now,
That's
I would
right.
say, if I'm going to throw out any recommendations
Yes.
there, it's not a belt buckle, but it's an amazing finish line, and they only do it for the 100-miler. Tarawera 100 in New Zealand. They give you a piece of Punamu.
Oh.
It is given to you by a tribesman, and that is your 100-mile finisher's buckle, and it's a special moment. It's really, really awesome.
So you say that. I have a brother who lives in Australia. He lives in Canberra, and I have not been to visit him down there. I think that would be a fantastic trip.
You got
down
the Blue
to
Mountains.
Australia,
You got so
jump
much.
over. Oh, that would Tarawera. Okay, that's on my list now.
That's one. Honestly, that is my favorite finish line award I've ever received in my life.
That
it's
is
amazing.
definitely a family vacation trip.
I love that one.
it.
And it's a beautiful Rotorua. Beautiful place. Love
Love
it. Okay, quick fire questions.
Sure.
Favorite trail snack?
Favorite trail snack? Oh my God, it's supposed to be quick questions. I don't know. It's really hard for me to come up with an answer.
Do you take gels? Do you that's actually a question I didn't really think about. How do you get your glucose?
So I take gels.
Okay.
I was at a race recently, and there was a doctor doing evals at an aid station, and I just, matter of conversation, I said, hey, how many type 1 diabetics do you see around here? And her eyes got big. And then after that, the aid station worker looked at me. She said, I'm trying to see what we have without sugar in it. Would you like some pickle juice? And I thought, Man, I wish having a non-functioning pancreas gave me superpowers where I didn't need carbs. But no, I still
Right.
need carbs,
Still need
just
'em.
like everybody else. So I do the gels. I always carry emergency glucose tablets with me because
Gotcha.
gels have a lot of carbs, but they're not always a lot of sugar in it. So
Yeah.
if I need it, if I need sugar, I need it fast. So I always carry glucose tabs with me.
Favorite trail
snacks?
snack out there? You roll into an aid station. You could have anything you want.
Into an aid station, watermelon or Uncrustables.
Ooh, that's a good spread.
Neither
That's
of
a good
which.
spread.
So when you first asked that, I'm thinking, what do I carry with me? I do not carry watermelon with me. I do not carry Uncrustables with me. But when I pull into an aid station, that's what I like to see.
Yeah, I'm that way with Pop-Tarts.
Oh,
So run to an aid station, see a bag of Pop-Tarts. I'm like, done. That's what I want.
I love it.
Amazing. Uphills or downhills?
Uphills.
Ooh.
Uphills. And the reason is, at some point, you cannot run an uphill. And towards the end of the race, I feel like I should be running, unless it's uphill. Then I say, nope, I don't need to be running
No one's
this.
running this.
Uphill, yes.
Yeah. With music or without music?
Without music. Anytime I put music on, I feel like I lose every sense of my surroundings. Even when I try
Fair.
to do it for hill repeats, it feels awkward. It feels like I don't know what's coming. Even with my bone conduction headphones, I still feel like I'm out of touch, and I just don't like that feeling.
I love that. I love that. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise. It's a morning thing for me.
Sunrise run.
Especially if you're doing a 100-miler and the sun comes up, gives you a boost of energy. Love it.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. What dream race haven't you done yet?
Western States.
Western States.
Western
Okay. I was
States.
gonna say, you have to pick one this time.
Yep. I got 8 tickets in the lottery this coming up this
Ooh.
year, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Yeah. I mean, you're almost a shoo-in at this point.
I wouldn't say that. I'm hearing that every year. Sometimes you're not even getting any better odds just because so many more people enter the lottery.
That's true. That's
so I'm just
true.
going to keep going.
You're a
until
numbers
I go.
guy. I choose to be just oblivious, and I'm like, I'm definitely getting in.
I got to
this
say,
year.
I love the lottery, the way they work that lottery. I think it's fantastic. I wish all races with lotteries did it that way.
Yeah, I think they do it great over there. Last quick fire question: one word to describe the feeling of crossing the finish line.
I want to say done, because there's just so much. There's so much building. There's so much energy. There's so much drawing on you. There's so much hurting at the end, and it's just such a great feeling to cross the finish line, stop your watch, sit in a chair, and say, "Man, I am done. I did something impressive."
I love that. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I end every single interview with this question. If you were to go on your shakeout run right now, 30 minutes, conversational pace, nice and easy, you get to pick one person to run with you. It could be past, present, alive, dead, anybody. Who's that going to be?
You know what? I think I just want to be entertained while I'm on a run. I want to be out there. I want to have good conversation. I want to feel like $1 million after the run. So I have to say David Roche.
I mean, no one's going to make you feel bad. You're going to leave that 30 minutes feeling like you can conquer the world. I can guarantee that.
That is why.
And you'll know you're loved. Awesome. Well, Michael, thank you so much for sitting down and entertaining us and sharing with us kind of what it means to be an athlete with type 1 diabetes, and, opened my eyes definitely to just the added level of concentration you have to have, focus, preparation, all of those things. It makes your so far DNF-free list absolutely incredible. I mean, you have an incredible list as is, let alone all of those at a DNF, and you're a strong athlete. I'm excited to see you toe the line tomorrow, and we're definitely going to see you at that finish line.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time.
Thanks, Michael.